In life today, there are a lot of things that people like. There are a lot of things that people love. But there's a lot of history to it that you need to try and understand. So it's one thing for you to enjoy something, but it's another thing for you to understand how it came about and what lessons you can learn. So that's what I intend to do as I quickly do a review of this book. So I will just tell the general story, then I will zero down on maybe 1 or 2 pages that is really interesting. So basically, this is the story. So there was do you know what is called a potluck? All right, so maybe it's a new word you're going to learn today. So basically, there was an African potluck, and the way the potluck is organized, actually a family potluck, the way it's organized is that there's an event, and different people from different tribes bring your own delicacies. So what kind of food do they make in your area? What kind of food do you like? Well, so everybody brings a different food together, and yes, everybody enjoys each other's food. So that's just the summary. So basically, there was this African potluck, a family potluck. So different families, they had to prepare their different food stuff, and jollof rice was amongst the food they prepared. So different foods, different type of jollof rice that taste a bit differently. And there was a lot of arguments about the children. Oh, my mom made the best jollof rice. Oh, my dad makes the best jollof rice. And oh, you understand? So there was an argument. So unknown to them, like I said earlier on, everybody likes jollof rice, but there is a story, there's a very important story that needs to be learned. And does anybody know who was how did jollof rice come about, by the way? Do you think when God created man, he created man and he created jollof rice? Most likely not. So just like most things have to be discovered, most things have to be invented, and people figure it out. And after a while, people start enjoying it. So the story about jollof rice was that it was actually about just about 200 years ago. And believe it or not, it happened in faraway Senegal. And there was a tribe, the Wolof tribe in Senegal. So in those days, they used to trade stuff. They used to sell spices. They do a lot of wheat, a lot of barley, a lot of grains. So they sell it to the Europeans, the Portuguese and all that, and they come and give them some garments. So there was trade. So later on, there was a particular lady in that tribe, and I'll just quickly go to, so her name, I'll just go there and start reading it straight away. All right. So there's a particular woman, her name is Penda Mbaye. And she was a businesswoman who cared for large ceremonies. And she was also a hairdresser. She was employed as a cook at the colonial governor's residence at St. Louis. And basically, St. Louis is the capital of one of the regions in Senegal at the time. But it gets very interesting now. So please pay attention, children, pay attention. This is the most interesting part. One day, Penda ran out of barley she cooked with all the time. So she rushed to the market to buy some more. At the market, there was also shortage of both local and imported barley. So she bought the only grain available on that day, which was rice. And she hurried back to prepare the meal on time. So with the rice as a substitute for barley, she prepared it with vegetables, fish, and a rich spice, tomato, pepper, sauce, all in one pot. And that was how the first jollof rice was birthed unintentionally. Some name jollof comes from the word Wolof or jollof after the name of the empire. So that was the tribe. So now I'll zero down to the lessons. So there was a problem. And as children, a lot of times you're going to encounter some problems, you encounter some difficulties. But instead of you to give up, instead of you to be upset, instead of you to complain, you need to ask yourself, hey, how can I turn things around? How can I turn something negative to something positive? And that was what this lady did. She wanted to make something and it wasn't available. And she said, okay, what do I do? Do I cry? Crying is not going to help. You can cry, but it's not going to put any food on the plate. So she said, okay, you know what? I'm going to experiment. And that's why it's good for, as young children, it's a good idea for you to experiment. But please don't go and burn your house doing some crazy experiments. Huh? No crazy experiment, just do some simple experiments. So she experimented, and the result of her experiment was actually very good, and it was tasty. And remember, this was over 200 years ago. Actually, close to almost 300 years ago, in the 1800s. And because of that experiment she performed, and the rice was so delicious, she started talking to a few other people about it, and the news spread. Oh, if you try this, it's going to turn out okay, try it. So they kept trying it and trying it. So it started expanding, and Senegal is very far away from us. It's in West Africa, but all the way from Senegal, the good news about how to make jollof rice started spreading. As people were trading from one community to another community, over time, and hundreds of years has passed, and it got to your house. And that's why all of you are enjoying it. So for me, I'll say one important lesson is that, like I said, always good to experiment, always be positive even when things are not going well. And a lot of times the obstacle is actually the way. Whenever you come across some challenges or some difficulties, don't give up. Something interesting is going to happen. And it reminds me of something else that's extremely interesting. At about the same time, maybe like about 150 years ago, thereabouts, there was another person that made an experiment. So jollof rice, what do you guys eat jollof rice with? Yes, what else? What do you drink it with? What kind of drink? Juice? What else? All right, fine. You said Fanta. So I'm going to talk about Coke. Very similar. So a lot of people like Coke. How many people like Coke? A lot of people like Coke. All right. So I'll tell you how Coke came about. So Coke actually came about just like jollof rice. And it was actually a mistake. So she said, what's your name, by the way? What's your name? Sina. She said, wow, yes. So Coke was actually a mistake. So actually, there was a medical doctor that was trying to, there was cold, people have cold, people had cough. He was trying to work on a cough syrup. So he made it with cola nuts, because they got caffeine from cola nuts and a few other ingredients. And he says, hey, this is the best cough syrup in the world. It's gonna work, it cures many illnesses, give it a shot. So when they started testing it, they found out that, no, this is a fake, it doesn't work. I took it, I had cold, and I still have cold. Throw it, it's a bad cough syrup. So the guy was extremely upset, he was extremely disappointed. And after a while, yes, he died of a heart attack, he passed it on to his son, and he didn't know what to do with it. But somebody else thought about it and said, this fake syrup that doesn't work, I can turn it around. And he said, okay, you know what? I think I like the taste of this stuff. Yes, it may not cure cold, but let's give it a shot. So the person sold off the rights to this guy, and the guy now started Coca-Cola company. And that was, like I said, over 100 years ago, and now a lot of people are enjoying Coke. So it just emphasizes the fact that, hey, in life, you're always going to have difficulties, you're going to have challenges, but turn your challenges around. You understand? Turn your challenges around, and at the end of the day, you will be surprised about the good outcome. And most of the challenges, like the lady that had the problem that she didn't have barley on one day, and this guy that put in all the hard work, and his cough syrup wasn't working, many years down the road, because of those mistakes, those bad news in quotes, millions of people all over the world are enjoying those people's mistake because they turned it around. A lot of people are enjoying jollof rice, a lot of people are enjoying Coke. So that's the general story about this book, and I hope you have some time to go through it as well. And so that's it for now. There's some other stories that you continue, but I'll stop at this from now. So first things first, I want to check your comprehension. So question, I'm going to ask a question about the story first, then I'll ask a question about the lesson. So question, and first one will be a true or false question. So the first African jollof rice was made in northern Nigeria? True or false? All right, let me answer. So you mention your name and your answer, and remember, look at the camera. Okay, look at the camera and answer. Did you understand the question? All right. I didn't even get it right. All right, so she said it's false. All right, so I'll spin the question somewhere else. So where was the first jollof rice made? The very first one, not the second one. All right, let me ask a boy this time. So look at the camera and respond.
My name is Akada. The first jollof rice was made in Senegal.
All right, that's a good one. Thank you very much. All right, and another question is going to be a bit more difficult. And let's see, but I know you have very smart people in this room. So what's the name of the first person to make the first jollof rice, and what was her business? So tell me her name, tell me her business. If you cannot get one, at least get the other one. All right, try her name first. All right, that's fine. Look at the camera when you want to respond. Look at the camera. Face the camera. Okay, fair enough. Good response. All right, you want to try? All right, give it to her. Sorry. Look at the camera. Oh, sorry. Excellent. Sorry, just say it one more time. You're not very audible. Speak up, or maybe use this mic that is louder. Excellent. She got it right. And it's not a very common name, so it's really good you were able to get that. So that's good. So finally, one more person. I will give you guys an opportunity to speak. Yeah. No, this one is good. Okay. Can you hear me? All right, that's good. So one more question. So all the stories I've talked about today with respect to this book, can somebody very quickly tell me what lesson they're going to learn, or what similar mistakes they've made and they came out with some good outcome? I need someone else who hasn't spoken before. Okay, I'm going to make it quick. I'm going to give two people. I'll give you, and I'll give you. For the other people, I'm going to ask you another question from the other book. Huh? Hold on, I'll get back to you. Okay. Yeah, we can start with her first. No, huh? No, yeah. All right. Oh! She's asking about it. All right. No, the question is that what lessons have you learned from this book, and including have you ever made any mistake that turned out to be something positive? So go very quickly. Excellent. There's a clap, a round of applause for her. Always try again. Never give up. All right. Yeah, you can pass the phone to her.
Hello everyone, my name is...
No, look at the camera, sir.
Hello everyone, my name is Zara Adalema, and I've made a mistake once, but I corrected it and tried over and over again. Then I got it right.
Excellent. A round of applause for her.